Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's one last match. I thought the last match, the finals, was going to be the last match I'd stream for the Champions League, but there's still the third place match. I forgot about it. And let's give these players the attention that they deserve. It's Mor versus Skady, third place match. So both these players lost in the semifinals. It's a third place match now. Really playing for a little bit of, I guess, ego, but also some prize. The winner of this third place match gets $100. The loser, 0. So it's pretty important. Pretty important match for these two guys. I mean, still $100. That's not bad. That's not bad for playing games. But I know this is a pretty fast-paced series overall. A bunch of aggressive maps, actually. Looking at it, Highland, Alfheim, Frozen Waste, Oasis, Savannah. These are all pretty aggressive. They generally play aggressive gods, so I think, yeah, that explains why it's going to be an aggressive match. And we already have someone in the chat. Hello. Hope you guys enjoy. This will be the final. I know I said it last time, but this will be officially the final recorded game stream for the Foobly Champions League. So after this, probably going to more playing games and maybe some more of the Age Mythology classics that I've had been doing. But let's put that away. Let's focus on this. Mor versus Skady, the third place match. I'm going to get right into it because it's a little bit of a late start for me. So we will get right into it. Winner gets $100. Loser gets nothing. We get to have fun watching. So I'm excited to see how these games go and down. So let's just get right into the action. Hello, Zebchi. Hello, Koodleal, and A Shocker. Good to have you guys here while I probably manhandle the pronunciation of most of your guys. But anyway, here we are. Going to game number 1 here, which is Highland. Now, Mor's probably going to go Oranos. And I think Skady is going set here. Which is going to be interesting to watch this first game. Because set versus Oranos. Which could almost be an instant win given the matchup. And if you remember, going back to when I played against Nyan Racing Cat, I wanted to go set on this map. Because it's pretty easy for set to win. And I screwed it up and went raw, in which case I was locked in. But what set can do here is an early vision, send units forward, all of them, see where the citizen's going, and then prevent that citizen from building a dock. So yeah, so that's what we're seeing here. So the vision lets you know where the villager is going, which is here. So he's going to send his pharaoh, his priest, and his villagers down here to watch for this villager. And correctly done, the set can prevent the dock from being built and can also kill the villager, in which case it's basically a GG at a minute 30. And we can see he sent the pharaoh up here to check this. And Skady coming down, knows that the dock is being built. Oh, I like this. The attempted wall in. Now, he might be able to get the dock built. Oh, no, he screwed it up. He screwed it up. Oh, so what's going to happen here is he's going to lose this. All right, that's GG right there. Oh, man, the fastest game in the tournament is starting off our third place match. So this kind of annoys me watching this, because this is what I wanted to do against Nyan Racing Cat and I didn't. So it's a bit of a matchup win, correctly played, because it's really tough as Atlantean to prevent this. The only way really he could have, if he would have walled this in a little bit better, he would have been able to finish the dock. But then you still have a citizen that's going to die. So the only way you can prevent that is and it's not very optimal, is that when you see vision get cast, you can see in the minimap where it gets cast. So what you can do is send this villager down, and as soon as the vision is over, you send this villager back, and you send another villager, your second villager, over to the opposite side, in which case the set player will be coming down here, assuming you're building down here, and will miss your dock. Now the problem is, it's not very optimal because your villagers are fat, and so you got this slowpoke coming down here, then he's got to circle back, and then you got your other one that's got to walk all the way over here. So that's how you do it, but it's still suboptimal. So the best way to counter this is to just not go Oranos or Atlantean here. Because this can happen to you. And this is one reason why Highland was kind of removed from the map pool back in the day, as we put a win for Skady. Well, this will make the series go fast. So this villager will die. He can shockwave the villager that's attacking, but correctly done, your Pharaoh can path block, and this villager will die, and he won't have the dock. Now, you're right. There is some economical harm that's being done by a set here because he's sending his Pharaoh and his villagers forward, but he'll kill this. So that's why I'm saying if you do that fake and you come over here, it's suboptimal. It's not the end of the world, though, because of how much the set player is putting into this pressure down here. But it's still pretty rough. There are other ways he could potentially have walled it off, but that's, again, not really going to work well. You can also afford to send an Oracle down and heroize it, but you can still lose your villager. But yeah, this is... But the best thing to do is just don't go Atlantean on Highland. Atlantean on Highland isn't super good anyway. And if you're an Atlantean only player and you can't switch to a different god, then are you really, I guess, that great of a player? Was kind of what my thinking is. And well, I don't really have a problem with this map, because if it's a bad map for Atlantean, guess what? Don't play Atlantean. If you can only play Atlantean, then guess what? At this point, the game's been out 18 years. You should be able to play more than Atlantean. But anyway, that's game number 1. So basically a gimme to Skady there. But we'll move on to game number 2, Alfheim. Oranos versus Oranos. Okay, so an Oranos war between Mor on the bottom, who's Oranos. Actually, this isn't the bottom, it's really the left. The left red player is Oranos. The right blue player is also Oranos. It's Skady. Skady has a 1-0 lead, courtesy of that very quick victory on Highland. And in an Oranos war, Skady's got some good Oranos, but I think Mor is better. Mor should win an Oranos war. But Oranos War is kind of like any mirror match outside of maybe like Ra v Ra, where you can kind of come back as Ra if you defend a little bit. But in Oranos, it does tend to be a little bit snowbally. In a lot of the aggressive matchups or mirror matchups, it is like that, where if one Atlantean loses the first battle, you'll start losing more battles, and then it's kind of just over. We see the citizen coming forward on the hunt here. Do we have a hunt? Ooh. So no hunting dogs, because there's no eco guild. And no hunting dog either for Skady. Yeah, it's generally the aggressive mirrors. If you kind of lose that first fight, you kind of screwed. The more defensive ones, it's not necessarily over, like Ra v Ra. You can kind of react. You can kind of come back if you're Ra and you lose, maybe initial map control or something. I mean, it's still tough, but not nearly as snowbally as here. So neither player going for hunting dogs tells me they're going for a 4-minute advance. That's pretty standard in Oranos Wars, meaning that they want to hit classical age at 4 minutes because aggression is key. And if you can push the enemy off of hunt and into his base, you have a large advantage. Now, Mor did go forward to this hunt, which the same hunt, this is Skady's same hunt right here. It's the deer spawn. And it looks like, okay, now he's coming forward. So basically the same thing, just a little bit delayed by Skady. What he's got, 7 cattle to 5. What relic do we have here? The Canopic Jar of Imseti. Makes infantry train 15% faster, I think. That's what it says. But it's minus 15% infantry train time, which isn't necessarily the same as 15% faster. I don't think. Whatever. And then another relic over here, the Fetters of Fenrir, which allows villagers to kill animals in one shot. That's not going to be in play here. Now, the big thing to look at are gold mines. Mor is a very, very forward gold mine. So if he does lose the early fight, he can be in a lot of trouble. We see both players have super similar economies here. They're both aging up. Let's check out the times. I can't see the percentage. My chat's in the way. It's like 36% to pretty much the same thing. So about the same age up time. This gold mine is kind of to the side, but still a little out there. I mean, you're kind of hoping to get a gold mine back here if you're these players. Otherwise, what we can also see are aggressive oracle plays. Now, in this situation, I don't think you get much valoring your forward oracles unless you can get a villager in it, which is actually nice because Skady can valor these and get this citizen in. So it'll kind of be a wash. They'll both do the same thing. And we have a valor probably coming soon. So Mor will probably wait to see. Oh, Mor just uses it right away. And Skady will probably end up reacting. He can't go forward like this, though. Yeah, because he's got to keep them in range, the valor range. And as we see barracks, counter barracks, I assume. Yeah, yep. And now we're going to see the valor used for Skady here as well. Yep. And then those, yeah. This is a mirror matchup. I mean, Atlantean Oranos matchups, there's really not much variation you can even see here. Though, we do see a little variation. So we've got double counter barracks, which means all Terma against Murmillo Terma. The Murmillo Terma should be able to win this. It's a little bit better of a combo here. It'll allow Mor to win the initial fights. So should kind of stay aggressive because Terma, until they get into a huge wrecking ball, aren't super strong against Murmillo. So I like Mor here. He should be able to go aggressive and push Skady off. Now we do have a lot of Prometheans. 3 Prometheans here. It depends if he loses his hunt. But the problem is, what I don't like about Chiro is they're too slow. You can't really use them to attack. And Mor will win this fight. Alrighty, hold on. Let's take a look, actually. I'm curious. 54 pop to 57, so pretty similar. This could be a really big fight here. And Mor could win this. How close do we have Valor up? And we need to just make sure the heroes... Right now, Mor's heroes aren't in great spots. They need to be on the Promethean. So there they are on the Promethean, kind of. Not really, actually, at all. This is going pretty even, actually. A little bit of micro here. Yeah. Skady is losing this fight. It's just the early Murmillo are stronger than Terma. And you can see he's even got to force this villager to fight, and he's probably going to lose it. And let's push back. And they came in with the same army units, but you can see the Murmillo there. And maybe Skady didn't quite micro super well. But you just can't win the initial fights. Double Terma against... Oh, he's going to try to sneak this Villy out, which he might actually be able to get the citizen to escape. Maybe. They're looking for where it went. Oh, it stopped. Oh, stupid, fat, lazy female. Now, yeah, it's going to lose. And that's big. To lose your hunt and your hero citizen at this point in the game. That's big. That is really big. So, I am a little bit surprised that he stayed forward going double counter barracks. Now you can see him trying to switch over to Kiro. There's one queued up but not training. But what I'm saying is, you lose the early fight. You can start picking off units and fights later on as you get a big ball of Terma. So what I'm kind of surprised is that Skady just didn't stay in his base and just defend while getting that massive Terma ball. And we can see we could potentially, if Skady doesn't notice this, he could maybe lose the citizen. No, Chiro shooting. Gonna defend that. But yeah, so going aggressive, it just kind of begging to be pushed off of Hunt anyway. So probably should have just fallen back. And we see a little bit of raid by Skady. I mean, he's not out of the game, but losing one citizen early in a mirror matchup like that, it's pretty significant. 85 pop to 75, and we can see Mor, even though Mor's up 10 pop, he has more economy as well. No one's getting any research. We do have a Kiro or two, but they can only defend. You can't realistically go out and fight with Kiro. We see Valor come in for Skady. Looking for something to raid, but there's just really nothing to raid with. Mor should probably, just to be safe, put a house here. But he's not going to, which is okay. Nice that he can... Did I say Skady? Mor? Yeah, I said Mor. And nice to see that Mor is on this hunt as well. Hunt does gather faster. Kind of weird placement here. Guess they're just taking a break. See, Skady's got a pretty nice sized army. Now, yeah, 92 popped to 100. It's pretty close, but he can't really continue aggression. It's just such a slow army. He might be able to make this citizen go idle for a little bit, but this, if it's a full-on arm, ooh, these units are not in a good spot here. They need to get out of there. Shockwave? Do we have a shockwave for Skady? No, not quite. It actually would have been a really awesome shockwave if it would have been up, because he probably would have been able to pick off quite a few of those units, which would have been big. Shockwave not quite up. You can see he's still trying to path block a little bit. But Mor just needs to get a full army in one spot. Though he is doing a little bit of counter raiding. Really, he could actually almost just fall back from this. Mor could and really not fight. But looks like he's going to fight anyway. And no heroes down here on these Prometheans, though. Just this one. And now, okay, now he just used... Alright, now he's got the heroes. And a few Kiro of his own as well. It looks like Mor is cleaning this up. Just the Murmillo just do so good. And especially when you got Kiro fighting against Terma. They just don't do anything there. So Mor is cleaning this up, and Skady is... Kiros are shooting at the wrong units there. And Mor cleaned this up pretty well. And in the meantime, trying to kill this villager, but not going to. And Mor won that fight again. Pop went down to 93 to 67. So, yeah, Murmillo are good. Oh, wait, we saw Promethean just punch a villager. Just missed it, I guess, but that's not good because I think that villager was basically full health and did not notice. And now Mor is just switching to this gold up here. And, uh-oh, these bills, where are they going? Where are they going? No, you can't go that way. What's he even looking for? I don't even know why he's going up here, but he's losing that Villy. Oh, no. I don't understand where these are going. Unless he's just kind of decided he's lost it and he's just like going forward. I'm not really sure. Oh, he lost. Never mind. He ran out of gold. But he's trying to try to get gold. He's got 9 in the bank and that's it. Yeah, that's GG. Just like that. Quick game. Wow. So, well, it's 1-1 now. Let's update that scorecard. Man, this might be even faster than I thought. We're 2 games into this, and it's only been like 12 minutes. But, yeah. So, Kira Ballista do awful against anything that's not infantry, because the Kiro have very low base damage. And they rely on attack bonus to do damage. Look, they get plus 150 versus other infantry. And so, unless they're not shooting at that, they're basically not good at all. And then we saw just Skady lost the first fight because the early Murmillo turned a win. And then Skady lost the second fight just because the Kiro were firing at the wrong units. And again, Murmillo's still pretty strong. And thanks for watching, Sasha, or watching later. So, hello to you. Hey, I got a couple friends in Puerto Rico now. Hello, Warlords. So, this is game 2. Let's take a look at the scorecard, or I guess the post-game here. Wow, that's quite a substantial kill-loss difference in just 11 minutes of play here. Yeah. Nice age up from Mor. 355. That's a pretty good age up. And Skady actually had better economy. Whoa, okay, so yeah, so interesting that you mentioned Big JJ, huh? Oh, jeez. So, it's interesting because Sigma did mention this, and I looked a couple times, but not enough, is that on this map, without hunting dogs, you can't actually afford to make villagers and Murmillo at the same time. And we can see that because of all this idle time. This is when Mor was auto-queuing Murmillo, and he wasn't able to forge citizens. So this is why Skady's economy was better, which tells me also that if he would have just not fought that early fight and backed away, over time, he would have ended up with a better economy with more units, where he probably could have then pushed out later and gotten some gold mines. Oh, okay, all right. This is the same guy. Well, that's all right too. Good to see you. But yeah, quite the difference in villagers there, but countered by the units. But anyway, we're gonna move on to game 3, and I don't know if these are going to be super long games because these are all pretty aggressive maps. I mean, coming up we got Frozen Waste, Oasis, and Savannah. If we do get that far, remember there may or may not be 5 total games. Give me AOT PhD. But we're gonna see Frozen Waste, which you could almost see. Those Skady doesn't normally go Norse, but Odin on this map has been a pretty strong recent and common pick. Odin against Oranos here. So let's see what happens. It is Odin versus Oranos. So all right, we're switching from the cliffs of Alfheim to the frozen wastes of I don't know where. And it is Mor on the top. He is read as Oranos. That's what I'm looking for, meta. And then Skady on the bottom is Odin. Would have liked to see him get some of these goats in his Great Hunt, but that's okay. The one awesome thing, though, about Great Hunt on this map, and really any map, is that if you have starting hunt, it allows you to age up without having to move off of your starting up hunt. So you'll have enough hunt here to age up, which is pretty big because there are times when your hunt, if it's not quite enough, you can run out of, you can be like 300 food and then have to go forward, which delays your age up by like, oh, he forgot his ox cart here. But it can delay your age up by like 30, 40, 50 seconds, which can actually be big. So it's nice that Odin is kind of that easy mode where you can kind of do the same thing in class or archaic age on any hunt map, and it'll work every time. And we see he's going with the two. It is pretty standard. Your first two hunt, next two to gold, and then you go to wood, and then you'll start kind of putting in. Yeah, you get your dwarf in as well as soon as you have the resources. How many people do I think play this game, including Voobly and Game Ranger? It's kind of hard to say. Any Nile River, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. It's hard to estimate. I mean, I think really all platforms are pretty similar. Game Ranger might be the most active, but it's kind of the least like organized, I guess you could say. So Steam might be more active now, at least on the lower levels. But what is Frozen Wastes? You probably have seen it by now if you've been watching, but recent games, because it's not a map that came with the original game, and it came into existence maybe 6 years ago or so. But this is Frozen Wastes. It's a map that's similar in kind of appearance in a way to Midgard, just that the water is turned into ice, and there are goats scattered around the edge of the map, and then the gold mines do not go in the middle. They're always on the edge along the ice, so it's a really aggressive, really fast-paced map. So this will go hand in hand with the previous games, especially as an Odin. The Odin really wants to get some early pressure, and it is the one thing that does vary on this map is it can be 1 or 2 base gold mines. Only 1 base gold mine here. And a nice gold mine actually for Skady. He can actually wall this off and be safe if he wants to. He's building a defensive temple, which is pretty standard. So the goal for the Odin here is to push the Atlantean off of Hunt as quickly as possible. Now, what's interesting to see is that Mor... Oh, he is going to Hunt. Oh, this is a far Hunt here because of where it is. Ooh, this is a long way to go against an early pressure Odin. And because the Hunt can't spawn on the edge, your Hunt's generally going to be towards the middle, which makes it also hard. Because the Odin can get some early pressure up. And if the Odin can push the Oranos off of Hunt, it's pretty tough to come back. And the Odin can do that by making, as we can see, he made an extra Ulsark before advancing. He is about 20 seconds slower. And then he'll get also a Hersier, probably 2. And then when he ages up, he'll probably make another... I would say he might make another Ulsark here. And we have to... You force out the Oracles to defend the initial Ulsarks. And because Valor's been used, he's going to fall back and then use these units to make his initial... Great 100-year hunt. That's a nice guy. They're going to make the military barracks here. It's going to... Or longhouses, I guess, if you're Norse. And they're going to be Ulsarks that are going to come out because Ulsarks do well against Terma. They do about even with Murmillo. They don't do super great against Kira Ballista, but again, Kira Ballista, similar as we saw last game, are too slow to be able to effectively defend. So the Odin can kind of run circles around the Kira Ballista, and the Kiro can't really do damage until the units are stopped. So it's hard for the Kiro to do any damage until the Ulfsarks are just in their face. And now we see Skady is coming forward to get on his hunt. A little bit of a roundabout route here because of where the tree lines are. Gonna have to come around a little bit of a maze, I guess. Actually, he's gonna go to the polar bear first. Mor is keeping his units in his base, or in his buildings here. I'd like to see a house come out here. We see the Valk is up here, then Oracle ready to defend. Really shouldn't be sending these Murmillo back as well, because with those Murmillo gone, he doesn't have enough of an army to defend this, and there's no manner to put these citizens in either. This could be a big early aggression here. Very important from Skady, because, okay, nice forest fire will probably kill the counter barracks. So that's a bad placement for the counter barracks. It is going to go down. That's big. And now Mor just has to retreat, because his Murmillo are... And you need Prometheans here. Where are his Prometheans? Because you can pick off the Herseer because they're slow, and then your Promethean can kind of party. But this is a good fight for Skady. He's got more units here. I don't know why Mor's fighting, and now his units are going to have to retreat. And just kind of questionable positioning here. You can see 4 Terma dead, and 3 Terma dead, and Oracle dead. I don't think a single Odin unit died, which is big, because then regen will heal them up. And Mor is going to lose not only his counter barracks because he built it too close to the tree line, he's also going to lose his barracks as well. And the question is, why did he go forward? The thing is, if you don't go forward, though, then you're eating from a slower food source and you kind of fall behind in economy. So you kind of have to stay on a hunt in a way, or you fall behind regardless. But what you can do here, and you don't really see much of it, and though forest fire can kind of cancel it out, is you can see some like defensive walls here. But it's kind of hard because you could just forest fire and open that up anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a problem with how he did it. I think killing that, insta-killing that was pretty good. He could have maybe done a little bit more with it, but... yeah, Addy players don't make walls, but they should, though. They should, though. No. Ooh, this wall isn't even finished. Actually, I think the Ulfsark just kind of ran through here. So here is a wall. There. So you kind of need, now that he's defensive, you kind of need counter barracks here and Kira Ballista. But he has to rebuild. That's a lot of resources put back into this. And should have walled this off and put another building here. He might end up losing Ivilli. Might have to use Shockwave to save. Nope, nope. She just jumps right in. Yeah, you're right, Freeze. I mean, it's kind of a tough situation, though. Because, hold on, my wife's calling me. Yo, what you need? Yeah, I can do that. Yes. Well, I'll try to. Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, love you. It's very strange. She calls me when she's just upstairs. It's kind of weird. Oh, but anyway. We're getting back into this. Yeah, he's double score here, and that's just because he has nothing. It's going to be hard to come back from losing your 2 buildings like that and losing 4 units to nothing. Like, at this point, it is kind of game over. And he's going to surround the citizen. Oh, man. Do you see how far that citizen jumped into the house? He was like way over here. Man, he just jetpacked his way into that manor. It's disgusting. But anyway, let's take a look and see what Skádi's got here. He'll probably stay. I don't know if he'd make a town center. You almost just age up here. And I don't know why he's not hunting from these walrus. Why aren't you hunting from these walrus here? I mean, you just ran right past them. Got these little sarks running through up here. I'm confused. Whatever. No other eco upgrades. But actually, though, it is kind of... People talk about... Here come the Prometheans. Talk about how the Atlantean citizen can garrison from so far away. It's actually the same garrisoning as other units. It just seems more for the citizen because of how big of a unit model they are. But actually, normal villagers can also hop in from the same distance. It's been checked in the editor, and it is true. It only seems that way. Regardless, garrisoning is a little bit broken because of how far away you can garrison. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's an Age of Mythology optical illusion. As we see all these little sarks trying to get in, as we see, we're just going forward. And we do have Skady coming up, so Mor could probably win like a fight now. But of course, the goal from Skady is to not fight. He just has to avoid until he's up with Frost, and then actually you can see a Frost Giant can tank so much damage that then Mor will lose this fight and Skady will win it. So we can see Skady is being defensive here. He'll be up in just a little bit. Yeah, you're right, Sigma. You do see it more because of Atlanteans use it more. And, trying to path block? Well, how about you try it right up here? Try it right here. Oh, your old Sarks are running the wrong way. Walrus is path blocking the old Sarks. And got to get these out of here. Mor went forward, hoping he could do something. Instead, he's just kind of getting trapped and losing some units. These fat claymen are not doing so red hot. We've got these Kira Ballista just firing away at this Raven. We got these old Sarks popping in over here to see what's up. I think they did chase these units back, or maybe they just went over here. I don't know. But we have a big frost that'll be coming soon. I don't think Mor is aging up. Actually, not a bad age up time given what kind of happened to him early. And Hyperion is a nice choice here. It'll get either the Valk or the Frost Giant who's just hanging out down by the armory. The problem is Mor is quite a bit behind. And we've got this gold mine here, which is going to be tough for Mor to hold considering Skady went Skady and has Frost. And now we're going to see him come up on... Oh, he's going to try to grab this town center like a boss. Does he just Frost this? Alright, he just Frost that. And the one Kira Ballista avoids. Good for you, man. Proud of you. So is your family. Now watch as you know, you're going to watch as this town center gets built. We have Hyperion up, and we'll use Chaos. These Villies should just run back through. So, oh man, this poor Valk is still hammering away at Mor's units, though. And actually, Chaos isn't bad here. It does get a decent number of units. This Kiro should really be shooting at the Herseer here. And the town center almost up. Shockwave. You should have done it on the corner here. And the town center goes up. That's going to be rough, actually. Because this was a little bit of a unnecessary risk taken by Skady here. That he need not have done. Because he actually lost a little bit from that. He lost more than he gained. The problem is... for Mor is that this does kind of split him off from his gold. So he almost has to kill this town center, which he might be able to. Just needs to keep the Mermillo back. And where's the Frost Giant? There he is. He's coming in. And yeah, they are pounding away. Now, unfortunately, this Valk is still attacking. Oh, and the Herseer on the Satyr there, and then the Frost Giant will come in, probably freeze the Satyr. Yep. And now Mor is kind of losing his way here. His units are all, he's got 5 Kiro that can't do anything. His Vermillo are over here, kind of trapped by the throwing axemen. So this is a pretty bad engagement for Mor, where he actually could have maybe won this fight, but the town center is so hard to play with this town center where it is because his army is split up, and now he's fighting again, like he's fighting with like 5 units, where he's got a pretty decent army here. I like the Contarius. No, I have a problem with the Contarius. There's not a ton of Olsarks anymore. I'd prefer to see more. He probably doesn't have any favor though. I'd like to see some more Satyr. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Contarius. Vermillo don't give you much now that there's this many throwing axemen and they're upgraded. They counter the axemen. They don't counter the Olsarks. Theoretically, he could just be going with Arcus instead, which would probably be better. I don't know if he's going to win this fight here. He being Mor, well, he's especially not going to fight with the way he's positioning. He's going to lose all his villagers. And yeah, there's just not enough units here. And the villagers, yeah, you got the Olsarks coming running in around fast to get on the Kiro Ballista here. And that's it. GG. Yeah, what he wanted, I think he wanted to get some hero Contarius because they do well against the Frost Giants, and hero Arcus do not. But just it was rough with it's a rough early start for Mor. But didn't quite. I think Mor had a chance if he wouldn't have gone crazy forward like that, because he actually was still in not a terrible spot. But then this town center grab, even though it did cost Skady his god power and a handful of units, it was just such a strategical spot to grab because it prevented Mor from really being able to effectively reinforce. And we saw, like, when Mor was fighting this big fight here, he had 5 Kiro Ballista that were over here kind of trapped because there was a Frost Giant here, and then the Frost Giant got on the Satyr, and the Vermillo were over here by the throwing axemen, and it didn't quite work. Shame that I prefer the non-spicy chat, actually. Kill loss ratio pretty phenomenal for Skady there. We can see Mor kind of caught up a bit in economy there. This is this jump economy isn't actually correct here. This might not be exactly. They ended up pretty same. Sometimes this gets a little jacked up because if you cancel a technology, it acts as if you gathered the resources that you canceled. So he canceled something, and I think this may be a town center or something. I don't know. But yeah, big scoreline early. That's because of the early kills and such. But that is 2-1 to Skady, and given as it is 3 games into the series here, let's get on our little what are we looking at? Little overlay. You can see me, your handsome host. Let's update the scorecards here. You can also see I got a little bit of Christmas lights behind me. I mean, this is a really professional studio. Got in a team of home decorators to come in, as I clicked the wrong button. And they decorated my room here. Really put a lot of effort into it. All right, what do we got? We've got Oranos from Mor every game. Big surprise there. And we did have Skady and Oranos in one game. And then an Odin. Where is Odin? I need an Odin. Odin? There we are. There's our Odin. On a frozen waste down here. And our set right there. And let's get our wins update. And that'll get us to where we are in the series. With Skady up 2-1. So this is the officially, for me, streaming the final match of the tournament. Third place gets $100. Fourth place gets 0. So these two fine fellows are fighting for $100 and a little bit of, I guess, the opportunity to win on or to end the tournament on a good note instead of just losing. So that's cool. Christmas sweaters and Christmas Eve. Well, what about me in a Christmas sweater? I think I look kind of cute. Maybe I should get a Christmas onesie. Streaming that. We sponsored these games. So this is the Voobly Champions League. The sponsors were a variety of people. In fact, since you ask, I'll try to tell you. But it might take a little bit to figure it out. My list where I put it. But yeah, it's a handful of people put the prize pool. So the total prize pool for this tournament was right around $740. A couple individuals that donated anonymously. We had Boyd put some money in. Alex, my friend, put some money in. Another anonymous, Kilty, Schalkers, Hannibal, Pepe, Nico Fan, and Nobi all donated. Make this fine event possible. So thank you to all of the donors. But let's get into game number 4. All right, so far a bunch of aggressive games here as we see Oasis and Savannah. We're probably going to see some more aggressive games. Mor does need to win the last 2 if he wants to win the series. So we're going to go into Oasis. And what shall we have on Oasis? Oranos versus Oranos on Oasis. I'm kind of surprised to see maybe Skady. Skady has some decent Egyptian. Not see him play Ra. I think it's a pretty even matchup, Ra v Oranos on Oasis, depending on how it spawns. Maybe a little bit in the Oranos or Ra, kind of just depends. But yeah, Mor is a Ra only. So again, I'm kind of surprised that Skady in our blue color here is going Oranos because I feel like Mor is the better Oranos player. And I feel like Skady should also recognize that because Mor is a pure Oranos. That's all he plays, Oranos, every day, all day, 24/7, 365, 366 on leap year. So I think it's a bit optimistic to go into a match knowing you're going to be getting an Oranos mirror, especially when a Alfheim Oranos mirror didn't go well at all. So last game in the Oranos mirror, we saw Mor go with Murmillo. So a barracks counter barracks. And you saw Skady go with double counter barracks. And maybe it might be true that he wants to disrespect him. I guess if that's your goal in life is to disrespect people, then sure, go for it. But really you should probably just be trying to win. No eco upgrades, no hunting dogs. We do have Skady going forward on giraffe. Looks like it's just 2. This is the lowest secondary hunt spawn you can actually have on Oasis is the 2 and giraffe. Mor, meanwhile, found what is technically the starting hunt, zebra. And he will have the 2 giraffes somewhere, as will Skady, who is not scouted it. Kind of peculiar scouting, actually, from Skady. Just moving his units around. And he has not found his zebra, which might be here or over here. I could just hit the Fog of War button and find out that they're here. So they're here. It isn't actually a bad spot for him. He gets a free lion here as well off of this hunt, so that's pretty nice. They'll both be trying to age up as close or before 4 minutes as possible. I think with how low of hunt it is, we'll probably see both players going with counter barracks, but again, the early Murmillo does help you win the initial fight, so we'll see. The initial fight's wins allows you to push off of hunt. Only 3 goats for Skady. And not too many more for Mor. Actually must have been one of the lower goat spawn for Oasis. There's another one that's just kind of hanging out right there. As we see 34% up to 30%. So Mor slightly faster, probably because he found his hunt a little bit faster. He's even got a villager up here on a gold mine. Interesting. I don't know why he made this one walk all the way up here just to mine gold. A relic, the armor of Achilles, minus 5% infantry hack vulnerability. Could be okay. And then Nose of the Sphinx, plus 15% building hit points. That's also pretty decent. Yeah, I know, but I don't think you get much value of sending it forward to go on Zebra. You might as well just keep it on a goat, because it's a long way to walk, as we see. Okay, so Mor is going for exactly the same as before. Barracks, counter barracks. And we have counter barracks, counter barracks. So, are we going to see a repeat of last game where Skady is going to try to stay forward? Because I hope not. Because it's not going to work. The Murmillo will, as you pointed out, Sigma, which it did result in last time, idle town center time. In fact, let's take a look. 0%. So at 4:35, started at idle town center time. And that was about 11 seconds. There. And Skady will fall back without losing any units this time, which that's okay. He can't get on his hunt, because that's okay. Oranos isn't really that broken. No, Mor wasn't housed. Maybe he was. Oranos is strong on a map, open maps. I mean, you could play other gods here and be competitive. I mean, Mor just plays Oranos. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Gotta watch out for your... Okay, gets... Well... Alright, yeah, get out of there. Loses a house. Kind of a waste of resources, and now he is housed. And let's take a look at the town center again. 0%. Skady does not have very many goats, though. He only has 2, and that's because he kind of scouted like a dunce. And just ran his oracles around and didn't actually do a good job of normally scouting and getting goats. So that's actually going to hurt him, because he's going to have to transition to farms in like a minute and a half. But we got Mor here keeping up with the 0% citizen training. Now it's coming again. Oh, you got your citizens in here. Not a good trade click there. Actually, though, he could almost afford to stay defensive here with a couple Kiro, maybe, and be able to move on to this hunt because of how close it is to his base. So it's not the end of the world for him. And again, as long as Skady just doesn't lose a big fight, his economy will eventually be better. Kind of a pointless shockwave here. Not really sure why you'd use shockwave in something that's not a big fight. Because I'm actually... Well, why is Mor going in so far here? This is a great way to lose. This is a little bit too far. Needs to get these... Oh, wow. Okay. The Terma are not in a great spot here. And they can actually garrison. He should have garrisoned them in the town center and put them over here. They're kind of in no man's land right here, fighting against a bunch of Murmillo and stuff, which isn't what you wanted. And now he's finally moving them to where he should have, like, 15 seconds ago. And this is kind of an all-in attack from Mor here. It's actually going pretty well because I feel like Skady really mismanaged his army, where he left his Murmillo right next to the other units to tank damage too long. Needs to garrison this villager before it dies. Ah, right next to a house. And, wow, this pressure is actually working. As we see another villager dying here. And a third one. Oh, those 3 citizens that shouldn't have died. And that's it. GG. This aggression like this really should not have worked. Again, it's just you can build some walls and kind of prevent this from happening. I know you're Atlantean, you normally don't build walls, but you might as well. Also, a little bit of questionable building placement here, where he's allowed a gap in between this building and this tree, and the house should probably be put maybe up here, the counter barracks here, another house maybe here, and then you can just wall that, and then you're safe this way. Same thing, this counter barracks is kind of in a really bad spot. Like, it doesn't wall anything off. And actually, all these buildings are really badly placed. The temple goes here, in front of the tower. The counter barracks goes here, against the tree line. You can then, a 3-segment wall. Wall chip, and just one main wall. Then you have this entire side walled off. And again here, you can build your counter barracks here, up actually against the tree line. And then you can maybe build a house here if you really wanted to or whatever. But the main thing is, it's just not well played from Skady here. And bad unit positioning. The one nice thing about Terma is they can garrison. So he could have just thrown them in here and then thrown them over there. Yeah, this is a quick one. 8 minutes. All these games are quick. And hello, I had somebody from Germany. Hello, hello. And yeah, that wasn't good. Was not a good play there from Skady. It's not good. Little things like building placement. I mean, these games are so short I can talk about boring stuff like this. Yes, I'm in the basement. This is my permanent thing. I'm down here for good. Eventually, when I have some time in my life, which there isn't much, I'll do a little bit more stuff down here, make it in more of an actual room. But building placement, just little stuff like that, can help so much if you just effectively place buildings. And this building placement was just awful. I mean, they served no strategical purpose at all. And I know, I guess as a Atlantean, you kind of tend to be a little bit careless because what does it really matter? But if you're going to go double Terma, you should expect to be defensive, in which case you should try to kind of wall off your town a little bit better. But that's all right. Mor knotted up the series. We are going to a game 5. Which, that's cool. So I won't be up too late, I guess. So let's update our scorecard here with some more Oranoses. And we are in a game 5 on Savannah. So we have gone back and forth with each game. Win, either side. But last game on Savannah. Obviously, Mor will go Oranos here. You could almost see an Odin on Savannah. You just want the base hunt spawn. But Savannah has enough hunt. You can get to it regardless of whether you have in-base hunt. So I'd like to see Skady go Odin here. I think it would be a good play. It's a new old headset. I had it, but it has I've been using USB for my old one. but this one did not have USB. It had one of the millimeter connectors. But then I realized I have a splitter, so I'm able to use this. But anyway, let us go into game number 5. So this 5th game here, it comes down to 5 games, is going to be for $100. So that's cool that this series is going all the way to the end. As we see Odin. Okay, so he is going Odin. Yes, I like it. This is a nice matchup. So Skady going back to Odin, which gave him a super easy win on Frozen Wastes. Mor, of course, staying as Oranos in the bottom right. This is game 5. Let's get excited, huh? It's 11:30 at night. Yeah. Game 5 for $100 for the winner. Take all. Now, the big thing for Skady is he needs to find Hunt ASAP. As soon as possible. And so far, unfortunately for him, he is on the wrong side. He's only going to scout monkeys up here. The hunt is all down here, and it's a lot of it. In fact, the goats are down here too. It's all down here. Rhino, goats, giraffe, goats, and monkeys. Baboons, technically, and nothing. And we've got the elephants right here. Does he go all the way forward to the elephants? Probably not. So this is a little bit unfortunate scouting here, because if all the animals would have spawned on this side, then it would be better. What was the score in the Oranos Wars? Well, so far, Mor won both Oranos Wars. And this is 2-2, the decider game here. Mor, as the Oranos, doesn't really need Hunt. In fact, his Rhino here is not in a great spot. It could maybe end up running to this side of the tree line, which would be really nice for him. But Mor, pretty risky if he goes forward. And now Skady has found his Hunt. He's going to go down here. Why Odin? Because Odin plays really well into Oranos. Just needs Hunt, and now he's found all of his Hunt. But this is going to slow down the age up, which means the early pressure is not going to be as good or as quick, which means the Oranos will be able to defend longer and stay on Hunt longer, which will help him get to heroic sooner, which is kind of what the Oranos needs, is Hyperion to kind of start getting that chaosing myth units. And what relic do we have here? Buildings do plus 20% building pierce damage. That's the arrows of the Alfheim. This is a nice relic for Egyptian. Atlantean or Norse doesn't do a whole lot for them. But yeah, this is going to slow the typical Oranos or the Odin pressure down. And we saw that he used Great Hunt on all of these goats. Not on the Hunt. Probably, I don't know if I like that. Again, it's a little, Again, this is a bad temple placement. It just does nothing for you defensively. Like, why not put it here? Like, this is just not a good spot for it. It leaves this wide open though, where you'll have to wall it, and then he's still got a wall off over there. I don't like it. Does Mor have good Norse? I'd say not really. Decent. I mean, he's actually a little bit better with different gods than maybe most people give him credit for. But he's going to be a little bit slow in getting his ox cart out too here. These villagers are going to be dropping off before, yeah, not good. And we have Mor up is about 4 minutes, about 4:05. And we're going to have a really slow advance from the Odin here because of the amount of time it took for him to find his Hunt. You can see he's building a second Ulfsark. So it's kind of a similar attempt of a build as on Frozen Wastes with the early 2 Ulfsarks. And now you'll start making a few Herseer. But the problem is it's just so delayed because he didn't get on to his hunt. And Skady sees that early advance, so now he's falling back. And Mor should be able to build up an army big enough to be able to defend this hunt. So we could potentially see one of our first longer games where if Mor's able to defend early, the Odin can kind of fall back and become more defensive and maybe go for like a late game Ragnarok, as we see our other relic, blue crystal shard, plus 5% villager gather rate, which sounds okay, but with the way like animations work isn't necessarily good, as we get these oracles just facing off against the town center fire here. And now we have some really strangely placed houses as well, and a barracks over here and a barracks here. This building placement really not very good. And we've got the little baby Prometheans here. Needed to send a Herseer down here. Prometheans will cause some havoc. Or the Valk will do okay. Slowing down the economy a little bit for Mor. That's good, that's good. And getting the Valk in on Terma. The villager's turn to shank the Promethean, but we've got the flood of Oranos units. Murmillo, counter barracks. So Murmillo, Terma just come flooding in. Ooh, housed a little bit maybe. And we've got the Valk. The one bad thing about using Valor on your initial oracles is they have a hard time getting at the Valkyrie. And we do probably have a Valor coming soon for Mor, as we see another house coming forward as well. But this is a nice early fight here for Skady, actually, given how slow he advanced. So this is actually going pretty well for him. Man, this Valk just does so much damage, too. Yeah, this is a nice defense. Oh, Forest Fire too late. I didn't like that Forest Fire. Pretty optimistic use, anyway. Now, here come the Prometheans. The extra Prometheans will help. And Hunt is... you might have to get actually pushed off of Hunt now. There's not quite enough throwing Axemen in all of this. I think he got, or is getting... trying to get the Ulsark upgrade. But yeah, this is all due so far, this pressure is all due to Skady just advancing later because of the lack of Hunt. And oh, you don't want to, you can't take damage like this from your Valk. Your Valk is super, oh no no no, your Valk is so valuable. A huge tank early game. 60% hack, 55% pierce, and you can't lose hit points like that. We do have another Valk that's up, though, so could potentially heal. Need to reposition this Ox Cart, though. We have hunting dogs, and we also... Ooh, no hunting dogs for Mor here. This is going to be a big fight. Oh, nice shockwave to start it off. Pick off some of the throwing axemen. Nice to get the Valks way over there to where they can't fight. This is not a good... Skady should have ran from this. He's going to lose this fight, I think, because of how disjointed his attack was. And actually see Mor running just his Termera away. Actually, no, he'll hold. The power of the Valks, it lasts so long. So he will hold. He will hold. The Valks are they just tank so much. Needs to heal them up. I mean, look at 60 HP and 39 HP. That's really nice. So heal them up. Skady's in a good spot there. I thought that fight would go a little bit better for Mor, but it didn't. Yeah, it was... I like the shockwave because of where it put the Valks. That was really helpful. How many has he missed? Well, he's at 0% still. Ooh, and it's only at 70 pop. So let's see. Let's check out villager time. So, no idle time here. A lot of idle time here. This is about a minute of idle town center time right here. And then about 30 seconds or so. So... That's a lot of idle time that he's lost out on. Idle time being idle town center time because of the Vermillos being built. And was Skady idle too? I didn't notice. Oh, whoa, whoa! Skady has not made a villager for 2 minutes. That has to just be forgetting to have auto queue on. That has to be, he just forgot to use auto queue. Because that shouldn't happen. And a nice little raid over here. And that might kill a Vil, maybe? Turn and fight. Alright. Would like to have seen like a couple Ulfs come forward and try to wall this corner off. Maybe. It's a very important part of the map because of this gold mine here. Should wall this off. Should wall it. As we see, Mor is grabbing some Kiro Ballista. If you can protect them, they're really good. Now, are the Valks healed up? Oh, they need to heal each other. Oh, you can't be running forward with a 39 HP Valk. You need to heal her. Oh, your Valk's so valuable. Need to heal her. No medium infantry either. But yeah, the 2 minutes of idle time, that's huge. That's big. Now he's coming forward with these units because the goal of the Norse after the initial fight is to actually kind of avoid a fight until heroic age comes up. So that's why he's going forward. And these units, it's about a wash. It's about equal number defending. But yeah, as long as these units can attack, it's good for Skady. And they pick off a... you can't fight this. I don't think you fight this. This is too good of a spot for the Atlantean here. And these units are getting surrounded and needed to heal this Valk. The raiding with it just isn't accomplishing anything. And you think he's lost like 3 Ulfs for nothing. To the point where another Ulf's Arc down for nothing. And this one, okay, he's coming back. Do we have... Oh, see, we don't even have... the Lone Wanderer, which gives the Ulfsarks their faster speed. That's a huge tech to not have yet. Really surprised he doesn't have it. And oh, this is brave. Coming down here to hunt on these lions. This, yeah, without Lone Wanderer, these Ulfsarks are just getting destroyed by the Kiro Ballista. And we only have 1 Valk to tank damage. Actually really nice. As long as the Kiro Ballista don't turn. Now they turned. But fighting this without Lone Wanderer is a really bad move by Skady. So why is it so important? While we're paused here. So the big thing to look at is speed. 4.8. In Age of Mythology, most ranged units, not all of them, but most, are able to hit moving targets that move up to a speed of 5. The Lone Wanderer upgrade gives Ulfsarks additional speed, which puts them over 5, which means as long as they are running, Terma and Kiro Ballista can't hit them. There's few exceptions, but you might as well just take that. That's the rule. So fighting this fight without having Lone Wanderer is big because it means the Ulfsarks can just get picked off by units over and over because they aren't fast enough. Now we see the villagers coming in to get on these Kiro Ballista, which there's a lot of Kiro Ballista here. And this is not looking good for Skady. Just a few important techs he was missing. The villagers are all going down. That's like 8 villagers there that are just all of a sudden destroyed. And he has now, Skady has nothing to kill the Kiro Ballista, and that's it. GG, just like that. Just a terrible fight to take without having your upgrades. Wow. You can't fight that without having Lone Wanderer. And you can't even go forward and raid without having Lone Wanderer and losing that 39 HP Valk. Not good, but congratulations to Mor, who did get 3rd place. So Mor wins $100 for placing 3rd in the Woobly League, so congratulations to him. But really, I have to say, the games that Skady lost didn't look good in those games. Why resign? Because he's dead. D-E-D, dead. He's got nothing. And he just lost 7 of his villagers. But that's just bad text. Or bad text. No medium infantry. No lone wanderer. The only technology he researched was hunting dogs in Age 2. More, though, as Atlantean, he doesn't even have any technologies researched. Just 11 minutes into the game, we only have 1 technology researched outside of the H-ups. Oh, that's bad. Kill-loss ratio was actually pretty even, but this was big here. The for no reason idle town center time of almost 2 minutes was really bad by Skady there. Like, he's ahead in economy even despite that. He should have been even more ahead in economy. And the reason is Mor is also having idle town center time because he's making Murmillo, which are stealing food away from the villagers. But there's no excuse to have idle town center time here as Norse. I mean, when you watch me, you see it all the time, and my excuse is I'm just bad. So I guess maybe that is the excuse if you want to use one. But yeah, that's not good. And to fight that big fight there without Lone Wanderer could maybe just be Skady normally doesn't play Norse, so maybe a little bit of inexperience where he's kind of missing some important things like Lone Wanderer upgrade. But I mean, if he has a Lone Wanderer upgrade, he might win this fight, actually. Because the Ulsarks can just run right in on the Kiro Ballista without getting shot beforehand. With the way this fight went, they couldn't avoid any of the arrow fire, so they're just getting picked off running around in circles. So that was big, not to have Lone Wanderer. But anyway, not to overly criticize the players. It's easy watching the recorded games to point out mistakes. So both players are really good players. When you're watching games analytically, it's easy to find mistakes. So, but Mor played well. Oh, Skady didn't win. Mor played well, actually, and he played well. He lost that first game. Just it was more of a matchup loss. And then the third game, he had a few early mistakes, but he actually did okay in that game too. And Skady hasn't been as active as he has been in the past. I know before these games he hadn't played for a bit. So, but yeah, Skady was Odin. Yeah, sorry if I'm confusing you. But still, in the end, results matter. Reasons why you lost don't. So well played to Mor. Good job to him. Got 3rd place, and that does now officially, for me, wrap up the Woobly Champions League. I have done all of the playoffs. There were a lot of promotion relegation games that I just don't have time to do all of them, and I think Boit streamed them all anyway, so I know many of you also watch Boit's channel, so a lot of those games were actually, matches were actually really, really good. So if you aren't, you should tune in to Boit's channel, which I do have it on the screen, Boit TV on YouTube, and he'll be uploading all of the promotion/relegation games. And there were some really nice series there. So overall, tournament had a lot of nice series, and this one did go to 5 games. 5 are really, really fast games. So this is about as fast as you'll see a 5-game series. I was able to drag it out by talking in between games, so that's cool and all. But that's it. So yeah, going forward, you're going to see me playing a little bit more and not just streaming, or not just casting, But I will go back because to the what I was doing before the tournament, which was maybe once a week doing a few of old games, the little classic AOT Classic series. So I'll go back to doing that because those are enjoyable. I enjoy watching those old games, and I've actually had a handful of people kind of asking me like, "Hey, when are you going to do some of those again?" Well, soon. Probably not this weekend. Next weekend. What's my idea of Sun Tzu winning the fan favorite? What your idea? What do you mean? What do I think of it? I think it's deserved. A lot of fans like Norse, which is why him and the Rappel were up at the top of the voting. And he was also a player who he won one game in every single series that he played. He lost every series 1-2 in the regular season, which means like if he could have just put a few of those games that he lost in the other series, he could have won like 3 series, and been right on the edge of playoffs. Instead, he just went 1-2 every series and just couldn't quite finish another game in any of those series. But yeah, I think it's well deserved for him. He focused hard. He played the special map, which I like to see. Showed that he cared, and I think also showed that other player to like the fans or the viewers that he also cared. And of course, he played Norse, which people who play Norse tend to be favorites. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week and a good start to your weekend. I'll be on again tomorrow. Play some games. So until then, you guys have a good night. I'm gonna go to sleep too. So hope you guys enjoyed, and that's the end of the tournament. Thank you all for watching all of these tournament matches, and thank you for those of you who donated, for donating and making this tournament possible. And also, of course, thanks to the players who played all these games. And we had a lot of help too. A lot of helpers helped out to make this tournament work behind the scenes. So it was awesome. All in all, this was a great event. It went really well. And it is officially over. But if you missed games, if you check out the Discord, there are links to all of the streams. I believe every match, except for maybe 1 or 2, got streamed. So there's tons of streams for you to watch if you just want to go back and watch some games. You got a lot. But that's it for tonight. Thanks all for watching. Have a great night or day, wherever it is. And